What's up, guys? So we're here playing the Stanley Parable. I've never played this before. I've heard it's funny. Let's just give it a shot. I'm gonna go in blind. I don't even know what to expect. Never? Okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk.
Do it with one finger at a time.
What buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day.
Plus the escape key for 35 minutes.
Every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Oh my god.
Stanley was happy.
What is happening? This game's gonna be trippy, I already know.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
He had to think for himself.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So is there like an interact button? A. I'm gonna try to interact with everything. I wish you could like zoom in. You can crouch. This is a pretty good looking game, not gonna lie. I hate Mondays. That's pretty good. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Is that more of the I Hate Monday mugs?
Stanley decided to go to the
No, it's
meeting
everyone
room.
dead.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't want to. Who says I want to listen to you? Tell me to go to the meeting room?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Yo, it says who farted. That's good. There's something on that computer. Ah! I turned it off. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, it's too low to read it. Wish you could read what's on these papers. I like work, I just hate my boss. This is all just typical office stuff. It's locked. Alright, so he wanted us to go to the meeting room. Let's just go to the meeting room. I guess we can explore later. Is that not the meeting room? 420. Plant next to it, that's good. Alright, this is pretty uneventful so far.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Psych!
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Not really sure what's happening here.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I feel like this guy's just asking for me not to listen to him.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Not true. I feel like all Stanley does is follow directions. What? Okay. Is there a jump button?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
So confused. What is happening?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her
What?
back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who is she? We're so confused. I feel like there's secrets that I'm missing. Sorry, my voice is cracking. It's just early in the morning. Okay, this is a black room. There's a phone.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I don't want to answer it. I answered it. Am I just right back at my...
Oh,
What?
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
What?
All right.
What?
Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your
Gotcha. Oh, come on.
Oh, that's
Did you
terrible.
actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit
Well, I guess
their
he doesn't
life
know
to
what he
you?
has.
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside.
Rude.
Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What if I don't? What if I don't? What if I don't? Do I have to? Dude, I feel like that would be... They would definitely put something in where if I don't, something's gonna happen. Ugh. Maybe not? Should I wait longer? Damn, that would have been a nice touch. What's it gonna do when I press circle? Alright, I guess we'll just do it. We don't really have a choice.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
I didn't want to push it. I don't want to push it. Can I press other? I'll press every other button. Like, that should make a reaction out of the narrator.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
I'm not trying to listen to
He's
you.
pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now
How am I eating
he's
lunch?
going home. Now he's coming back to work.
Let me out of
One might
here.
even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
What? Please press X to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped
What
out from
is
his
this
desk
game?
to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
What? Bro, please press X to
So
spend time
he went
with the
further.
boys.
He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either.
Oh, this is all
Last
because I didn't open the
choice.
door. They would
It
go through the
barely
right door.
even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
I really don't know what's going on. I'm not
As he
gonna lie.
wandered through this
What?
fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
A game with a baby?
It was such a wonderful
I'm guessing
fantasy,
there's-
and so in
that's
his
a
head
word.
he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed.
Is
The
this just
longer
gonna
he
slowly
spends
turn
here,
me
the
back to
more
the office?
invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
I'm gonna do it.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second
tried
he
ignoring you
remains
initially,
here,
and you did
he's
let me.
electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to.
Yep, I'm back
But
in the
I don't make
office.
the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again. And
Please
Stanley pushed a
die.
button. And I tried
It's
again.
kind of rude.
And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I died. So I'm back at the start, I guess. Do I, like, unlock anything? I guess not. Alright, guys, let's do
All
one
of his
more.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
You're gonna just
decided
act
to go
like
to the
that
meeting
didn't
room.
happen?
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, we know what to expect this time.
When
Let's go
Stanley
left.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either.
Tips for not
Feeling a
getting
wave
fired.
of
Wow,
disbelief,
nice.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Let it pull up inside you, take it out passive aggressively on other coworkers, resent coworkers for not supporting you. Dude, that's so funny. What do people want? Things, money, more money, things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs. Graphs about things and money. We have our new product. Dude, that's so funny. What is hot? Profits, profits, profits. Colored in segment. The stock market is somewhere here. This is so funny. The humor in this game is pretty special. Monetize, free to play. Ooh.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
What happens if I close the door? There's something here.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
You getting
No
mad,
reason
bro?
to still be
What's
here.
wrong, bro?
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
Ooh.
He wasn't even
Forget
doing
somewhere.
anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
F.A. F.A. I have no idea what
Are
that
you
could possibly
really still in
mean.
the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing?
Finger a-holing.
Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
There's definitely something back here.
You do
like there's
realize there's no
entries
choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to
No
mention
way.
it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
That's funny. I want to see the broom closet ending.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
Oh my
That or the
God.
drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Very rude.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system
You about to kill
and you
me?
collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming,
Oh my God.
so that the irony and
It's so odd, there's
insightful
only an
commentary of
X
this game
interact button.
is not lost on them.
And then both L1 and
When you've
L2
done that,
crouch.
just step out into the hallway.
So odd. I don't even want to open it yet. There's more. I know there's more. We're gonna get an ending in here. We're gonna get an ending in here. Is there really not anymore? No, guys. What am I doing wrong? I don't want to leave. Oh, wait. I have an idea. I have an idea.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
I bet you I can.
You too? Unbelievable.
Yeah!
I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids.
Yes!
Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. Fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm
Yes.
not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Oh, is there no more to that? Do you think I'm a third player? Damn, he's just
Coming
done
to a
with me.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours.
Oh
He
my
might be
God.
fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
Why is there so much coffee
Maybe,
spilled?
he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence
many
in a
parking lots
single
are there?
moment for no reason at all.
Am I just running in
None
circles?
of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled.
Okay.
This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared.
No way.
It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
That's a good
Now
question.
the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
This is such like a
After all,
philosophical
he knew for
game.
certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He
The
would
voice of
prove it.
Stanley?
He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back,
No way.
the fresh air
About to
of
wake
the
up in a
world
random
outside
room.
this one.
Like a bedroom.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself.
Or it's gonna go back to the
I'm
office.
through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want.
Why is that all you want?
I want my
You're
apartment
the narrator's
and my
telling you.
wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Bro, this is such an odd game. Do you guys want to see more of this? Please let me know if you
Stanley
guys
began
want to.
screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Boom. We're
This
back to
is
the
the
office.
story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who
my
had stumbled
God.
through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance,
Wow.
for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy.
Oh my
This much she
God.
knew. Everyone
This
knows
game
what
is
crazy
dark.
people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my
God.
mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this
Oh
man
my
made her
God.
feel better.
This is
Then she
crazy.
remembered the meeting she had scheduled
This is
for that
absolutely
day.
nuts.
The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a
Oh my
moment
God.
that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay. Well, guys, that was me playing the Stanley Parable for the first time. This game is crazy interesting. Please let me know if you guys want me to make this a series. If you do, I can just pick up where I left off and take some other possibilities. I didn't do the path where I just listened to him yet, so we could do that. Or we could just keep trying to make him mad in different ways too. Thank you guys so much for watching if you made it this far. I really do appreciate it. Please go ahead and have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace!